you. Okay, Floyd's our attorney, town attorney. Before we get started, if nobody minds, I'd like to just read a statement. I feel strongly that one of the most important things that we have to do is keep the Academy School process moving forward, as I've been doing for the past 3 years. It's for that reason that I have supported the idea of this referendum in May. I believe that a vote now, asking voters to determine officially that the town needs to prioritize a community center within the Academy School building at a construction cost of $14 million is part of this movement forward. I also believe that although in the past the town has not brought one vote with bonding information, has only brought one vote with bonding information to the public, we are not beholden to past practice when this same past practice may not be the most beneficial to the voters in the town. My intention in suggesting and advocating for this advisory referendum question is to allow for an official vote to keep the process moving forward. No matter what the outcome, the process will be able to continue with what I feel is a clearer path towards a resolution and future use of the building that satisfies the majority of the town. If the voters approve the pathway towards a community center at this cost, then we as a board know that our next steps will include convening a building committee, conducting staffing reviews for the new services to be offered, and to bring bonding information to the public for the next official vote on how to fund the community center project. If the voters do not approve this advisory referendum, then we as a board know that our next steps will be to determine what other future uses might be brought to a vote, and if the community center project could possibly be brought back for a lesser cost or in a different form. With all of that said, it's also important that we as a board work together to keep the process moving forward and that our board is united in our vision for the future of Academy School. The one thing I do not want to do is confuse the issue and the voters with a vote at this time that doesn't take into account the other capital needs of our town. For those reasons, and to ensure the voters that we are of a united vision, I would consider agreeing to holding off the referendum in May if we agree to the following: that we do not eliminate from future consideration the idea of 2 referenda on a single topic, that the Board of Selectmen will immediately begin work to answer questions left unanswered by the Academy Community Center Design Committee. These questions include potential grants that may be available and total operational costs on an annual basis, which can be determined by a staffing profile study. And we agree to move a comprehensive capital plan to referendum after January 1st. Thank you. So I think what I'm saying is we don't need to vote on the questions on the
this sort of changes everything.
the agenda tonight. I'm willing to withdraw my motion to have a referendum in May.
Great.
Floyd, do you need to vote anything?
No.
No. Okay.
So, Tom, if you look to have public comment, that's great. If it is the move of the room, I would motion to table items number 2 and 3 on the agenda.
Okay.
I will second that motion.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Tom, I'd like to commend you for finding a way forward that keeps us all pulling together. I think that's very statesmanlike on your part.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree, Tom. I think this was, we've had a lot of discussions, all of us, and I think we're doing this for the best of the town. And I think having one integrated capital improvement plan and plan for the town is the right answer. So I commend you as well. This is wonderful.
Good.
Thank you.
Anybody?
I have a public comment.
Sure.
Question,
Sure.
actually. This is Terry Kensler from Scotland Avenue. Is it possible to turn, I don't know if you can still hear them, if you turn the phone around so we can hear them? I don't know, and they can hear you.
Yeah.
If you just turn it 180 degrees and face the speaker toward us. Give it a try.
Terry?
Say that again?
Bruce is going to say hello. Can you hear him now?
That's better.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you.
You may not need to do a lot of talking.
No, I realize that.
Thank you.
Catherine Donovan. Well, you've taken some of the wind out of my sails here, but
Really?
yeah. Because I was very confused because the statement keeps being made that there's a silent voter out there, which confuses me because the Great Blue Poll clearly stated that people don't want to develop this. They do want to save it. Not just the voluntary online poll, but the randomly made phone calls. So I'm glad that we can come to that understanding, but I do have one more question. The poll
This is public
showed,
comment, not public questions.
well, the poll showed that the second thing people wanted, if this referendum for Academy Street did not pass, that people wanted a town park. So maybe that's not something for tonight, but I do think we need to figure out if that did not pass on the big ask, then
Yeah, I
what do we
agree.
do next?
That would be our next task, determine.
I know it's not a question, but I just wanted to clarify, did you say that you were not, or you were going to take off the table the potential for 2 referendum for this one issue? You're
No,
taking it
I
off?
didn't say either. I just, what I'm saying is I'm not asking for a referendum in May.
Okay, but there's still a potential for a referendum in the future that is going to be a non-binding referendum?
No, this was not meant to be non-binding, it was meant to be non-bonding.
Non-bonding, but a non-bonding referendum, I should say.
I can't tell you what the future's gonna bring.
Okay,
I'm trying to
so-
keep this moving as well as I can.
Okay, so that point, I just want to be clear, I'll skip the other pieces of my statement. There's really never been any other capital project that was presented by the Board of Selectmen that have to go through 2 different referendum in order to put something forward for a binding bonding vote. You as members of the Board of Selectmen have a responsibility to listen to the constituents, all the citizens of Madison. When I was on the board and the options for Academy came to us, I had my mind was clear, made up, sell the building to a developer and get the tax revenue. Then we held public hearings, and I, along with the other board members, listened to the people who elected us, who were elected to represent. And it became clear that they did not want this property sold. How many years later, how many dollars spent, and the conclusions are still the same. In the survey, in the public hearings, and letters to the editors, your constituents have been loud and clear. They want a community center. It's your job to give the public a clear, unbiased information, work with the Board of Finance, deliver a plan to the people of this town, and let them vote on a binding referendum for bonding. Anything else is just trying to put your vision over the people of this town.
I think I've just proven that that's not what I'm doing. Thank you very much. Anybody else?
Carol Woodring of Overbrook Road. I feel very strongly that when this comes to referendum, the public needs a little bit more information. The public has gone through several iterations of surveys and workshops and so forth and so on, and they keep saying we want to preserve it, we want to have a community center. Now what we're not getting is the details of, we've been asked what would we like to have in it, and we've been told it will cost $14 million, we won't have the tax revenue and so forth and so on. On the other side of the question is, what are all the usages that are coming forth to the committee who is investigating right now that would offer potential income stream? I myself know of quite a few very specific uses that would give an ongoing, perpetual income stream. Secondly, we don't know how this goes into the whole balance of all of these other sort of vaguely threatening capital needs. Yes, we have the library. We understand the Mercy School may bring in some income. Maybe that will continue. We ourselves don't have the total picture of all the money that may be coming in, all the grants that the Historical Society and the state might bring into the capital improvement of the building, and then the income stream that would bring people into town to attend activities, to use our shops and restaurants. For example, activities right now which are shortened, one of which I produced at the senior center, we had to turn people away because it's too small. The father-daughter event could take place. They all go out to dinner downtown and have a parade over to this facility, especially if we get the sidewalk. So existing activities and new ones. We have music buildings already there that could be improved. We have east-facing rooms that could be for art. We have wide corridors that could have art displays, and if somebody sells something, make a donation to the town. A dance instructor would pay $15 for 45 minutes to teach a student. more if they have a group of people coming in. Corporations could use the gym if we outfitted it with some electronic devices, a screen that comes down, we have some tables that we lay out, they all can plug in their laptops, and they pay buku dollars to use that for an event. And maybe while they're there, they say, hey, this is kind of a nice town, I think we'll come back, we'll stay at the beach hotel, we'll buy a house. You know, we want to bring people in. It's right in the center of town, it's right near access from the railroad, from the highway. We want to bring people in and to say, this is a wonderful town they do all these great activities right here in the middle of their town, and they invite us in to attend poetry readings, workshops of all sorts, conferences. You know, it's just a grand opportunity that I just cannot understand why we cannot look at this with specifics. What is the actual potential for usage by the people in the town who would be given preference? What about the potential for bringing in dollars from outside? What about how this balances out with our own, and I know you've been very careful, Tom, to look at, you know, all the ways we can save money in town and try to bring in more money. What are the specifics of that, and how does this fit into that overall picture? We need more information like that.
Thanks. Can you just give us your name and address for the camera?
Yes, Carol Woodring, Overbrook Road.
Thank you.
Go. Thank you.
Actually, Catherine.
Catherine Ferrante, 71 Cox Road. I just want to say thank you for taking a May non-bonding referendum off the table, including Academy in the CIP fold with the other capital projects, per the Board of Finance recommendation, keeps the project less confusing to the public and moves it forward in a responsible way. Thank you.
I can address the questions that just asked.
Just announce your name.
I will. I'm Bill Stableford.
Bill, this really isn't a forum for that, though. This is.
I just want to answer a question, but.
I know, but that's
Okay.
not what we do as citizen council.
Okay.
You guys can talk afterwards, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm Dwight Lopes from Old Farms Road. Thank you for simplifying things, I think. At first, when I heard you read your statement, it seemed quite clear, but then now there's this distinction between non-binding and non-bonding. And so I just want some assurance that what you read will be in the minutes of the meeting and will be available online, like immediately.
So we'll have it in about 5 minutes.
Good, thanks.
Anybody else? Thanks for coming, everybody. Have a good night.
Can I just do one more thing, Tom? I'm sorry. Kathy Marsh, 38 Sylvan Road. I urge everybody to go online and read this. This is, a lot of money was spent putting this together by a lot of real concerned, wonderful people. So it's online and on our Facebook page for Save the Heart of Madison. You can also go to the link. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
That's it.